Hi, welcome back to season 2 of Unveiling Jess. Oh my gosh, y'all. The fact that I'm literally on a season 2 of anything is crazy because I'm a type of person that I will think everything, but the actual doing part is what I'm working on. So, welcome back to season 2, episode 1. I have had little time to rest, I would say. Um, but I've I don't know. I don't think that I don't think that rest is like I sleep, obviously, okay? So that's cool. But when I say rest, like I haven't had a mental moment to just unwind, unpack, rejuvenate. Like my mind has been at a constant since the beginning of the year. And I think that's just because of the fact that it took me so long to actually start the things that God has been telling me to do. And so I haven't really felt like, oh, I need to take some rest. Like, girl, you just getting started. So I don't know. That's just my, my little tidbit of how I feel. I feel like we kind of put too much emphasis on free time and rest sometimes when we haven't even put in enough work. So let's just start there. Sometimes even when you are tired, you still gotta push through. Just kind of like a track runner. Like you running a 1500, yeah, you might be tired on the third lap, but you still got another lap to go before you can. It's that's kind of how I'm at, and I'm trying to just keep renewing my mind so that I don't get comfortable because of people and the the voices of the world telling me that I'm successful. Like, I'm really trying to hear from God. That was not an intro. Of course, I say this every time. I'm gonna come with a for sure intro. But I don't know. I always just get started. Like I have to remember this is not a talk show for me. Like this is not something that I'm doing for monetary gain. This is not something that I'm doing so that I could, widen my platform. Like I'm literally trying to heal from things that I caused upon myself, from things that were inflicted upon me, that were out of my control, just all that. Like, and I think this is such a weird topic these days because it seems like we're all in this space where we're trying to heal from something. And it's like, I never really overheard the word like this, like oversaturated as much as I hear it now. And so I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's just like, I don't know, like a word to just say when we're not feeling our best, or if that's actually necessary for what God is doing in our next. Like, I feel like we just been kind of going throughout the years, generations, but nothing has been, I don't know, like, I don't even have the word. Like, I just think about my parents and like how they lived their life and how they went through or handled trauma or experiences that, weren't the best. And it just seemed like they just kind of covered it up or just got through. And I think for us in this generation, especially the children in this generation, we're just not emotionally able to do that. Like, we're just not. I think the further and further away we get from, I don't know, slavery and, the reform time and all those times before I was even here, like we just get less and less sh- sh- stronger in the uncomfortability. Like our parents were very strong in the uncomfortability of life, of relationships, of whatever come with May. And I think we're just at that point where it's just like, no, I don't, this does not sit right in my spirit. This does not sit right. And if you're not a spiritual person, this does not sit right with just me, period. And I cannot keep going on without some sort of intervention. Whether you believe in God, and that's who you go to for, your healing, or just period as a person. If you might not have that actual outlet, or you may not have given it a name, but you know that when your spirit man or when you're not feeling a certain way, you need to take some time. And I just been like, I don't know, y'all. Like, I haven't been not okay, but I haven't been fully where I want to be as far as emotionally. I don't know. It's been a great year financially. It's been a great year professionally for me. One of the best actually. And even still, with me being financially stable, comfortable, with me, having love around me, all the things, or whatever your thing is that tells you this is what's going to make me happy, or this is what's going to make me content, satisfied, whatever. I still haven't reached that place, and I'm starting to think that I'm never going to reach that place of just I'm finished. Like I've arrived. And obviously so, because if I get to that point, then I'm dead. I have no more work to do. If I have no more work to do, then I have no purpose. If I have no purpose, then I'm just here. I'm just like a ghost. I'm just like air, or whatever the case may be. And even air has purpose. So I say all that to say, y'all, like, this season is literally gonna be me and God. Like, I'm not going to qualify my truth through the lenses of people that cannot handle it. I'm not going to digress or say less of my story because I feel like people haven't got to the place where they're comfortable enough to speak their truth or live in their truth. Or maybe they are just so oblivious to it all that they haven't even came to a space in life or a space in their spiritual walk where they realize, like, man, I haven't really transformed from the things that were either passed down from me to me, traumas, whatever. Like, I haven't transformed those things. I just kept going. And to keep going is great. But if we don't have any type of transformation within that keep goingness, and that's not a word, obviously, then it's like, what is the point of keeping going? Because what are you transferring to the people closest to you, in proximity to you, when you just keep going past the things that have clearly affected you? Clearly. It's no way that you can suffer from domestic violence in silence. It's no way. Just because you haven't said anything to anybody does not mean your actions, the way you show up has not transferred unto them. So I think this season for me is so personal because for the first time in my life, I will not be people pleasing. Period. Like, and I know y'all probably like, Jessica, people pleasing since when you did that? I've done it. That's been me. I know it's a truth that's hard to swallow, but Jessica has been a people pleaser in many and dang near every facet. And I say that because I've done so many things, and I'm not going to even go down the row. I'm not going to even go down the list. And I'm not even going to say that people asked me to do this or asked me to be this person. You know what I mean? I'm not going to even put it on them because I'm an introspective type of person. But what I am going to say is this season is going to be me and God. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Whoever comes on this platform, whoever I have as a guest, whoever I have sitting next close across from me is only going to be here if God tells me to go get them. I've never prayed a prayer and waited for God to answer. So have I really been moving on God's timing? Who's to know? You know? Have I been moving in grace? Probably more so. So, I don't know, y'all. I say I don't know a lot because I really don't know. I really don't. I only know what I know in that moment. And that could even change. because I'm evolving, I'm growing, I'm learning new things, gaining new perspectives. So even what I knew or what I thought I knew 5, 10 years from now has totally changed. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I know that this next or this last quarter of the year, last half of the year, I should say, is going to be different. Not because life isn't good or not because it's gonna, not in a bad way. I don't even know how I'm trying to say that. But it's gonna be different because I'm gonna be obedient. I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm not gonna ask God for obedience. I'm not gonna ask God for discipline. I'm just going to be it. Because it's like we go and we ask or we pray these prayers that He's already given us the resources to be. So if you want to be disciplined, get up and go. I mean, I can't give you, you have your legs, you have your health, you have your right mind, you have you have your youth. Like I can't do it for you. And I think that I'm steadily praying these same prayers because I want God to do it for me. I don't want to do it. At least my flesh doesn't want to do it. And so I got to whip my flesh into submission to what I know, to the promise that never changes. And so that's just what we're here to do. Like, I can't over explain myself on why. I can't go back and forth. I can't debate with you. Like, either you know or you don't in this season. That's all Jessica has for you. I am depleted of trying to make other people comfortable. Because for what? That has it does absolutely nothing. And I think we project what we want or what we desire onto others, and then we resent them for it. So to clear all that up, to avoid all that, to just stop. We're just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. And if anybody has any inkling of what I'm saying or has any understanding further than the words that I may be speaking, we just gotta stop. And we gotta stop trying to make it seem like we're doing it for them when really we're doing it because of the insecure parts of our own traumas. Let me reword that because that didn't make sense in my head. It's like, let me just give you an example because the story, you can always see a story. I'm a storyteller. So like, let's just say my cousin calls me. I'm using my cousin because my cousin rarely calls me. So this is clearly like not even a real story, hypothetical. Let's just say my cousin calls me. But at the time that she calls, I'm doing something else. Something else that may be much more valuable to where God is taking me. Yet and still, I will stop what I'm doing to answer that phone call, knowing it's not an emergency. That is people pleasing. Whether or not that person asks that of you or not, it's still people pleasing because you feel like I can't miss a phone call. They may need me. They may have a story to tell me. They may have some feelings to get off. They may need an ear. Baby, if you're doing something that is beneficial to your future, you cannot stop and be a therapist or a counselor, that of which God is supposed to be in their lives. You can't be God for them. And that's what I mean. That does not mean that I will not listen to what my friends have to say. I will not, you know what I'm saying? That's not what that means. But in this season, you will hear less of me and I will direct you more to Him. That's what that means. And if that is not, feasible for you, then that's when separation has to start. Something that has been so hard for me to even talk about because like I said last season, it's very hard for me to let go. But the older I get, the more I realize, baby, letting go is going to not only be beneficial for myself, but for the person that I'm letting go. It's a lesson in both on both ends. But if I'm always trying to prevent a lesson from being learned, then I'm scabbing my knee up for just in vain, for nothing. Because it's not teaching that person nothing. It's not growing that person in no way, and it's depleting me. And folks don't even be knowing they depleting you, because you not speaking up. Like, all the things that I've never done, I'm doing now, starting today, period. Starting today. Because it has literally taken so much. It has taken so much of just, yeah, I just know I ain't doing it no more. So I think that with me taking my time back in that regard, that I can transfer that into time and commune with him, which is what this is really all about. Growing and building my relationship with my maker, with God, with my Father, with Jesus, my Lord, my Savior, so that my life can become its optimum. There's no way my life can do that without him. Like, literally, I was saying just to a friend the other day, like, man, I was just saying even earlier today, I've had a great year. I've experienced so much. I've triumphed things that I never would have thought I would have been able to triumph. Yet and still, because of my disobedience in the things that God has been telling me to do, unfulfillment has been just over me like a cloud. Like, I can't escape it. And so after all the hoorah and the celebration and the New York and the Vegas and the this and the that and the new job and the bonus, all that, after all that, I still got to sit with myself, and I still got to answer to myself about the things that I know that I haven't done. And so when I'm talking to God and we're having our check-ins or whatever you like to call them, and I'm asking him why this and why that, he's telling me, go look in the mirror. Go look in the mirror. It's so many things that I've told you to do that you just keep putting off. Or you will do them in this area. You'll stop smoking weed. But then now you like, okay, where is somebody that's gonna bring me some sort of intimacy? So it's like you just in and out of sins. Like you're not you won't let go. It's like something is tied to these things. Some type of identity is tied to the things that I'm doing. And I'm talking myself through this as we speak. Because I'm a type of person where I do something and then I'll sit back and try to like analyze what I just did for myself. Because I want to know for myself, like, why are you moving like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did you just do that when you know this is not something that aligns with where you know you're trying to go? So in them moments when I'm doing these things, I'm realizing, dang, just like, it's a lot of stuff that you just feel like you just gonna brush under the rug, and pretty much everybody in this generation has showed you this just ain't the generation for that. Like, you gonna get caught up. You're going to get caught up. So instead of just trying to put on this mask and fleet the things that have been weighing on you heavy, let's look them like head on and see what can we put in place to start not only weaning you from these things, whether that be, I don't know, alcohol, I don't know, too much TV, too much social media, overanalyzation about, your body, or drug use, sex, um, I don't know. It's so many things. Money. It's so many things that we idolize, that it's like, if we could just take that energy that we put towards seeking out these different things, trying to get that high, trying to conquer that next, body. Like, if we could put that energy into trying to figure out our why, our underlying reason as to where these things derive from, and then from there, put into practices, get on our knees, because sometimes some of this stuff just got to be loosed. It just got to be broken. It's just like, it's like a chain that just, like, you can't talk your way out of this. You can't counsel your way out of this. Some of that stuff you just got to, God just got to break. And we give ourselves, and we give the people around us, and we give a lot of people too much credit. And we put this expectation onto them to help us through these. Oh, when I get married, then me and my husband can, we can get to the finish line together. And that is so true. When you find a mate, of course they're supposed to help you through different intricacies that, you've dealt with. But if you are a single, if God has not presented your mate to you, this is your time. Like, this is your time to go through your refining process. Don't wait till God sends you somebody to force them into that with you. If you have the time now, if you don't want to face it, why are you going to get mad at them for not wanting to face it with you? You know what I mean? So that's even something within itself. I think we put so much on counselors and therapists, and all these things are amazing. God He invented all these things for a reason, so that we can have specialists to go to help us through certain things. But some stuff, you just gonna have to go to God for it, and it's just no way around it. And I know you know it. I know you know. Because it's been too many times where you've, quote unquote, had it all, yet you have not been fulfilled. Yet you feel like something is missing. And it ain't nothing that your wife can do to satisfy that need. It ain't nothing that your kids can do to satisfy that need. Only He can satisfy that need. And so I'm going to God to satisfy my needs. It's been, I don't even need y'all to be all in my business, but I've been doing okay in certain areas, and I need to do better in others. And I would be specific, because this is a very transparent podcast, but I feel like sometimes people just be nosy. So I'm going to share the things that God lays on my heart to share in totality, and then some other things, it'll be for me and Him, because at the end of the day, me putting it out there doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to change the thing. It just means now y'all know my business, which y'all mostly know most of it anyway, because I tell y'all, I don't have no shame in it. But yeah, this is going to be a rocky season. It's going to be hard. I'm going to have to face some truths that I haven't even accepted. I know I am. I've been avoiding it, so I know it's coming. It's just something that you just have to do. You have to go through the refinery process. So hopefully the people that are around me are understanding of what this journey means for me, and can somehow positively join me on that journey. But even if, the show must go on. So with all that said, y'all, I literally wrote notes down on what I was going to be talking about today, what we were going to be getting into. But as we all know, like I said, this is not a talk show for me. So at the end of the day, I brought y'all on this journey to not only disclose the experiences that led me to this point, but also to heal from them, and then share resources and tools, practical tools for you to get through those things so that now we can move on. And we don't have to transfer those traumas to our kids, to the people close to us, to the people at work, to the people that are a part of our purpose. Like, if you do not transform that thing, if you do not gut it out, if you do not get to the bottom, the root of it, you will transfer it. And we were literally just talking about that the other day, how it seems as though kids take the worst parts of their parents. And they do, because those are typically the parts that you haven't touched, that you haven't even got through yourself. So of course, how can I teach you sobriety if I've never been sober-minded? How can I teach you or how can I even help you wean you off of something that I still struggle with literally to this day in behind closed doors? And that's the stuff that I be really wanting not only parents, but just people in general to understand. Like, just because you feel like nobody knows doesn't mean nobody knows. It just means that we haven't been real with each other face to face. I may know your truth. You definitely know your truth. But just because we're not speaking on it doesn't make it less of the truth. So we have to come to a space where we can confidently, or not even confidently, courageously speak about the things that have led us to this point, good or bad, and then go to God on how we're gonna get through those things. Cause it's just getting kind of old. And if it's getting old for me, I know it's getting old for a person that's 50, 40, 60, 70 years old that's still having that same stuff playing in their head. Just because you go to church doesn't mean that you still don't have things that you need to get through. Just because you read your Bible and know it literally front to back does not mean that your kid can't call you on the carpet for something. Because it's truth. Truth is truth, irregardless who it comes from. And I think that's the part as a people that we have a very hard time digesting, is not necessarily the truth, but who it comes from in the way that it's presented. Everybody want everything to feel so good. Baby, if you're doing something that is not good for you, why do you think this conversation is going to be a feel-good conversation? So we got to get out of this utopian world of, oh, if I don't feel good, then it's not good energy. No, Buki, you're carrying spirits. That's the energy that you're carrying. You came with that. Just because you woke up and decided, oh, irregardless of what I'm carrying, I'm going to do the day like this, does not mean that you're still not carrying a spirit that other people can see and feel. Meaning you're not hiding. So, with that being said, and I look directly in the camera lens because it's looking dead back at me. Because I ain't telling nobody nothing that I'm not telling myself. That's one thing about me. Like, I can't even speak on something that I have no experience, no, information. I'm just ignorant to the situation. I can't even speak on it. And even if I'm speaking on something, I'm always speaking to me at the end of the day. Whether it's the same part that I don't even want to get into it. But all I'm saying is, y'all, this season gonna be good. It's gonna be good because I'm not the head of it. I'm not perfecting the script. I'm not even saying who gonna sit with me. I'm not. Like, literally, I just really want to see what God can do when we allow him to do what he does in totality. I think that's the hardest part for me, is in totality. I can do anything halfway. But when you tell me to give all of me, when you tell me to be totally courageous, when you tell me to be totally sober, when you tell me to be total, like, it's no, oh, just for the weekend, it's no recreational, no, it's no out, that my endurance, my stamina I got to build it. I got to build my spiritual stamina. And the only way that I can do that is to obey him and to go to him when I'm having problems, issues, and to keep building that relationship. Just like I would build a relationship with my man. Just like I would build a relationship with a friend. Like, how can we ask of the things that we are so unwilling to give? Regardless if you will give it to a person, you haven't gave it to your maker. You haven't gave to somebody who has given you everything. So at the end of the day, you're really setting the tone for any other relationship to come. So if I'm saying, man, I want somebody faithful, God, I want somebody loyal, but I'm not loyal, I'm not faithful to him. How can I, how can the two exist? I don't know. But we're going to find out this season. Season 2 is going to be good. I ain't half-stepping. I ain't lying. I ain't covering up. I'm not doing none of that. Whatever God say we doing is what we doing. So, with that being said, until next time, peace and blessings.